Whoa, guys, that's unbelievable. Okay guys, let's make our first fly with our newly made bobbin holders and whip finishers. The hook I have in the vise, it's 10 hook, offshore edgy. I'm not sure about the size. On the packet it says M. I guess it's size medium. I'm going to use a sewing thread in brown because pike is a mighty fish. It needs a mighty hook, and a mighty hook needs a mighty thread. So I'm going to do 10 turns. And then I'm going to skip a turn and then continue. And that will leave us with a little gap. And that's how I know how far to lay the materials, not to go past that, because I need this room for the head of the fly. Touching turns will ensure that fly is going to be strong and none of the materials will pull out. Yeah, so we're just at the barb. For the tail, guys, we are going to use two kinds of marble, one brown, one golden olive. Marble is a feather, guys, and just like normal feather, you can apply it in three ways. You can just put it down and tie it down this way. You can pinch the barbs out and then tie down the barbs, or you can spin it on the hook. We are going to spin it because that will make the tail fluffier. Generally, guys, in the pack of marble, you have different kinds of feathers. This kind, with a stiff stem and not very long or fluffy fibers. We can of course use this one for other applications, but not for this fly. For this fly, we want something like this, with a very soft stem that's going to help us to spin the feather around, and very, very fluffy fibers that going to give us volume of movement. Now we're going to pick how much of a feather that we want to use. I would say from here. So first we're going to make the tips even, like so. I'm going to separate the fibers. We are going to remove a few fibers from the bottom. This will be the tie-in point, and I don't want to have any fibers there. And I'm not going to throw these fibers away. I'm going to keep them for other lures that I'm going to make. I'm going to moisten them, roll them on my fingers, and then I'm going to let them sit on my desk until I'm ready to tie with them. We have got the two feathers now, so we're going to tie them in on the top, touching turns. And after I tie them in, I'm still going to do touching turns until about halfway up the hook. About there. I have pulled back the fibers, and with my hackle pliers, I'm just going to grab the tips and start spinning. And I'm going to use the old toothbrush to brush out the fibers. So now we're going to back up with the thread. Until it's at this point there. And then we can tie down our tag end. And then remember a little mark we did here? That's where we can go past. So I'm going to cut the marble right at the mark. Now I'm going to brush the tail back, because I'm going to wrap the thread over the fibers. And then I'm going to take the thread back towards the hook eye. That tail is just a little bit too long. I want it the same size as the hook. So up until there. Don't cut the marble, because then it's going to look terrible. What I usually do, just break it off with my fingers. This is the crystal flash I'm going to use, guys. I found this crystal flash in the Euro store. It was in the party section. I'm going to get 2 strands, fold it in half, come in underneath the thread with the open wraps, go back to where the tail starts. While it's not tied down fully, we can move it around, position it where we want it. For the body, I'm going to use this fluffy yarn I bought online. It has long fibers. They are pretty attractive when they are wet. I'm going to tie it on the other side of the hook. And then on the way back, I'm gonna do touching turns, just so I can bind everything down and make sure the fly is strong and nothing going to pull out or fall apart. So now we're going to wrap it. First turn is important. I'm going to be doing a turn. And then once the turn is done, I'm going to pull on it, just to make sure everything is tight, so the fish doesn't have any room to sink the tooth in there and break the material. Stroking the fibers back, making a turn, and then pulling at the yarn. So here at the eye, we're going to catch the materials with about 3-4 turns. 2, 3, 4. And now we're going to tidy up. I have whip finished away from the hook eye. Here's our little tag end. So now we're going to whip finish towards the hook eye, and the tag end will be under the wraps. Here we go. 2 whip finishes, just in case, because the pike is a toothy predator. Really, at the end of the hook, you can apply anything you want. Epoxy, UV resin, varnish, super glue. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do 3 coats of varnish. In this little jar, I have a new varnish. It's very liquidy, so I'm going to do 2 coats of this varnish, and then in this one I have varnish that's almost out. It's at the bottom, and it have became harder. So guys, I'm gonna do a final coat with this one. Yeah guys, that's the first coat. I will wait for the varnish to dry and then apply 2 more coats. And this is the back hook done for our articulated fly. The hook that we're going to use for the front part of the fly, it's tiny hook, offshore edgy, in size L. I'm still going to use a brown sewing thread. I have changed the bobbing to a bigger, beefier one, because we need a lot of pressure when we are attaching the leader material. So I'm gonna do touching turns all the way far as the hook barb. So now with open wraps, we are going to go back to the hook eye and then back to the barb. And what that is going to do, it's going to give us ridges on the hook, so that when we are attaching the leader material, it will sink into them. To attach the back hook, guys, I'm going to use this titanium leader material because it's strong and it doesn't kink. Titanium leader material is expensive, guys. So first I'm going to do a practice run with this monofilament line. I'm gonna attach the hook the same way as I would with the titanium leader, and then I'm going to unravel the thread and then measure how much line I've used, and that way we can cut exactly the length of the titanium leader that we need. That's what it's going to look like when we're using the titanium leader material. I have slid tungsten beads onto the line, 4.5 mil in diameter. Because we're going to cast this with a spinning rod, we need all the weight that we can get. So now I'm going to cut it off about at the hook point. We can unravel the thread and then measure this piece of line, and we will know exactly how much of leader material we need to cut. I've unraveled the line, and it happens to be 23 centimeters long. So now I know that I have to cut 23 centimeters off the leader material. We have our titanium leader material. We are going to put it into the eye of the hook, and then we're going to make a knot. We're going to tighten the knot while making sure that the tags end are even. And then we're going to take this tag end and put it into the eye of the hook again. That way the hook is in the loop of the knot. Then we're going to tighten it some more. And then we're going to make sure that the tags end are even. This is the longer end, so we're going to start with this one. So we're going to take this longer tag end and put it into the loop. We're going to put it into the loop again. Here we go. A neat little loop that will allow the hook move freely. Let's put the beads on. Now we can attach it to the front hook. We're going to move it so it sits on the top, and then we're going to twist this part so it's on the same parallel as the hook. And then we're going to stick the tag ends into the eye of the hook. So now we got to flip the hook upside down, attach the leader on the other side. We're getting close to the tag ends. Just be careful around them because they're sharp and they will cut the thread. Four turns. Now we're going to wrap the hook with 1mm lead wire. It will add extra weight to the fly so we can cast it further with a spinning rod. We are going to start at the hook point. Leaving about 1 centimeter at the front for the head. About there. This is my old scissors, the ones that I cut wire with and lead. Bring this tag end up. Going to squeeze this tag end down. Wrap the lead wire with thread. For the body of the front part of the hook, we are going to use this yarn. It's very fluffy, and the fibers on it are longer than the fibers on the back hook. Where the lead starts, we have a little step. So I'm just going to do thread wraps to make a smooth transition. So we're going to do touch and turns halfway in here, right there, and then we're going to go back. Now you see it's much smoother now. Okay, let's wrap it. First wrap is important. It'll set the tone for the rest of the wraps. We are going to tie it off. I got some yarn in hot orange. I have cut about a piece of 8 centimeters, and we're going to use it to imitate bleeding gills. I will cut it in half. Let's do a whip finish and change the thread. For the head, guys, we're going to use Danville's thread 6/0 in bright green. For the head, guys, I'm going to use this yarn as well. It's fluffy and it's bright green. To save us the bulk, we're going to cut a little bit of the fluff off and expose the cord. Make sure it's touch and turns really close together. Now we're going to stop short of the eye and then tie it off. Now we got to tidy up. Now we're going to do 2 whip finishes. One away from the hook eye, one towards the hook eye. Here we go, guys. We have the pretty fluffy head. All this yarn is going everywhere. So now we just have to trim it and then glue the eyes on it. Okay guys, I have finished trimming. The head looks good. Now I'm just going to cut these bleeding gills. So I'm going to cut them just where the hook point starts. Okay guys, time to glue in the eyes. And we're going to do it with our blue tack on the toothpick. I have the eye here. We're just gonna touch it with the blue tack, and then you see the eye got stuck to the blue tack. I have prepared two eyes. I will just leave them sitting on my desk. I will apply with the marker just a little dot where I want to put the glue, and then glue the eyes on. Once I push the eye in, I'm going to twist the toothpick, and it will come off the eye. So now I can just push the eye in with my fingers, just so it sits there nicely. And we're going to apply pressure. Here we go, guys. The fly is almost finished. Now we just have to apply 3 coats of varnish. I have finished making the flies. They're ready. I have made 6, 3 bright green, and then 3 goldish, kind of a natural color. Okay guys, let's check the size. Okay, let me see. Okay, the fly is pushing 15 centimeters, 14 and a half maybe. Not bad. Let's check the weight, guys. 6 grams. That's when it's dry. Okay guys, so when it's saturated with water, it's 7.5 grams. That's pretty good. So I'd definitely be able to cast it with a spinning rod quite a distance. When I'm gonna take them out fishing, I think I'm gonna start with the brighter color, because it's easier to see in the water. I can see while I'm casting it, and then when I'm retrieving, to avoid the snags and see what depth it's at. And then usually in the spring, the brighter colors, if they don't make the pike bite because he's hungry, they might make him bite because he's just irritated by them. They're so bright and into his face. I got my boxes, guys. This smaller one I will be taking fishing with me, and this bigger one, that's where I'm going to be storing extra lures that I'm not going to take fishing with me. And then 2 of the bright green ones. And then, guys, these 2 lures I'm going to keep in my storage box. Yes, guys, a pike. Happens, guys, that's fishing. I don't know what happened. I mustn't have set the hook. That's okay, we'll keep going. Great, that's a bite, guys. Hopefully I won't lose this one. That's a smaller pike. It seems to be in the corner of its mouth. I think we're gonna land this one. Lovely pike, guys. "64 centimeters, guys. 64. Now I don't feel so disappointed for losing that bigger pike. Whoa, guys, that's unbelievable. Hopefully we'll land this one. That's a little bit bigger pike. Come here, buddy, come here. That's us, guys. That's unreal. Okay, guys, the fly's out. Let's check the measurements. 70 centimeter pike. Here we go, guys. 70 centimeter. What a bite. Now I feel like it was all worth it. When I made that fly and the time I took to make it. Full of power. This is makeshift lures and I approve this fly. That's amazing, guys. That's unbelievable. 3 pike in the space of 20 minutes. Now, guys, I got the fly out and I let the pike go, but now the leader is bended. That's no problem. We can just bend it back. And you see it's becoming straighter. Bend it back with our hands. There you go, guys. Almost straight. Let's keep going. Jesus Christ, another one, guys. That's unbelievable. Whoa, that's unreal. I did not see it coming. That's what happens in the spring, guys. The pike is active. Stay there. There's another one, my God. That's about 65 centimeters or so. Alright guys, the fly is out. Let me check the length. 68 centimeters. Another pike, guys. 68 centimeters. Be free now. Oh, that's unbelievable, guys. Another pike. Oh, that's unbelievable. They're really spawning, guys. I've lost the count of what number pike this is. Ah, that's a small one. That's really unbelievable. That is crazy, guys. Let me see if I can get the hook out. Here we go, guys. Small one. That is the best fishing day yet this year. What a way, guys, to break a new fly. That is absolutely unbelievable. Fishing with this lure, it's almost like fishing with a hard plastic or a plug or a wobbler. Of course, if you're gonna cast it and then just reel it in at a steady pace, you will catch fish on it, but it's not as effective. So yeah, so what you need to do is make it look like a dying fish. So you cast and then you twitch it. What I do is one pull, pause, two pulls. So one twitch, pause, two pulls. One, pause, two. One, pause, two. One, two. And that makes it look like a dying fish, as if it's trying to swim. It can't. There is a pause, it's sinking, then it's trying to swim again, it can't, pause, sinking, and it really gets the pike going. Also, another retrieve I do is I'm turning the reel slowly, and at the same time moving the rod tip, and that makes it fly look like a fleeing, darting fish. because it's moving, and at the same time it's doing micro pulsations, and then all the fibers on the fly body pulsate. That's the two main retrieves I do. Also, guys, another thing I'm going to say is casting this fly. What I do is I put it in the water like this, get it really wet, and then I don't take it out and cast. I put it in the water, then straight away from the water I bring the rod slowly back. I do it slowly so the water, all of the water doesn't drip down from the fly, and it still have more weight. So when I bring it back, then I really throw it forward. So then the weight of the fly and the weight of the water in the fibers load up the rod tip, and then it flicks really nicely. So again, from the water, bring it back slowly and then flick it forward. Oh, that was a bite, my God. That was a bite. That's a bite, guys. That's a bite. That's a fish. I wonder what size is it. I'm not sure what it is, guys. Could be the hooks. Could be the angle of the hooks, because after all, these hooks are not designed for a fly. That was really cool all the same. That was a bite. Yeah, and that's how you know it was a bite, because it's tangled up like this. That's crazy. Today fishing is the best this year yet. So guys, the fly caught us a lot of fish today. I feel rewarded. Thank you, Lake. You have gave me hope once again, and an amazing day of fishing. I'm gonna make some more lures and then come back here and see what I can do. Until next time.